Hi, I'm Mike Gibson, President of the Pacific Southwest District, and I want to speak to the 70,000 members of the churches of our district and the families that represent the 20,000 students who are part of our schools. As we are approaching the other side of COVID, finally, I want to ask you to do something for me, and that is to gather around our church workers. Our teachers, administrators, preschool directors, preschool teachers, directors of Christian education, our music directors, our pastors, everyone who is serving, including those that are working in your offices and supporting the work of your church and school day after day. I just want you to know how humbled I've been to be able to watch, observe during this last year the hero-level behaviors that these people have exhibited. I remember when it first happened, when we got the shutdown order, and our schools closed on a Friday and they opened up on Monday with online education. When churches had to quit meeting and pastors immediately had to become televangelists. And some of the images I saw that so touched my heart, with a pastor up front in the chancel or in the pulpit and his dear wife sitting in a chair in the aisle holding up her iPhone, because it was the best that they had at that moment to be able to do the things that needed to be done. Fast forward a year later, we've all gotten a lot better at it. We know how to do great online education. We know how to do wonderful streaming of Bible studies, confirmation online, worship services. And yet what was so unique at the moment has now become the expected. And it's added on to all of the other things that those that serve you and love you have been doing all along. I want to ask you today to do 4 things for me. Number 1, would you reach out to those who serve you, those that are the first line caregivers of your soul, and let them know how much you love them and how important they are to you. Give them a personal touch. Secondly, I want to encourage you to find some tangible way to reach out to all those pastors and teachers and educators and all the rest of our church and school staffs, and let them know how valuable they are. Maybe it's with some sort of a special gift, or maybe it's a financial bonus because of all that extra time and effort they've put in. Or maybe it might be to give them some more vacation in 2021 as a way of saying thank you, and yet such an inexpensive way for us to be able to grant that kind of gift that means a lot, that the hard work has been recognized. I'd also like you to consider even looking down the road and maybe establishing a sabbatical program for your church and school staff and faculty so that they would have that type of support and affirmation to recover, to continue to serve in the ways that they need to move into the future. I also hope that you'll take this moment as a time to evaluate how you're doing in your salary and benefit packages. Now, let me tell you why that's important. At any given time in our district of almost 300 congregations, I'm working with about 30 congregations that are seeking to call a pastor. And what I find over and over and over again is how shocked they are at what it costs to have a new pastor come in and serve them. It's kind of a sticker shock. And what I encourage congregations to do is to be evaluating those packages even now. The same thing's true with your educators. We have so often underpaid those who are serving us so very, very well. Many of our schools in this COVID time are showing growth. Some of them, I've even heard, have doubled enrollment, and with that will come additional tuition. What I hope that you'll do is not only find ways to expand your mission and ministry, but that you'll also have the ability to increase what you're doing to support your workers with their salaries, to try to get them to what our district standards are. And fourthly, but not last, matter of fact, it's foremost, I want to invite you to give thanks to God for these gifts. One of the things that we've seen in the news media throughout this time is the way people have cheered and supported those first responders, those that work in the hospitals or medical professionals, and man, they deserve it. But I also want to invite you, church and schools, to reach out to your first responders of your soul, those educators who've braved it all and taught your kids during this time. Let them know how precious they are to you. And on a Sunday in the near future, when you can all gather together again, worship God and give thanks to Him for the incredible gifts of these precious men and women who serve for you, who love your kids, and want to do everything they can for you. Do the same for them. Well, I want to thank you for this few moments that I've had with you today. It's now time for you to act, and I really pray that you will. Thanks for your partnership with us in the Pacific Southwest District. Almost 300 congregations, 150 schools, almost 3,000 church workers who are serving in those congregations and schools. And I thank you for that partnership, and I thank you for your financial contributions to our district, because it helps us help you do the mission that God has called you to do in your context as you work to make the Great Commission real. God bless you and give you great joy of being His deployed church in a world that needs Jesus so very much.